So,
Episode number 8.
is it 8?
8. Reliance on Allah.
Reliance on Allah.
One of my favorite topics, honestly, because this is the one thing that really got me into Islam. And the thing that makes me feel the happiest is that I don't have to be in control. I don't have to be the one to make decisions. If I'm going through a trial or a problem, it's not me to pull myself out. It's Allah that pulls us out. Love this topic.
Why? Like, where did you experience it first?
My lowest. When I look back at my lowest moment, which is when I got into a car accident, and I was so distraught with everything. Didn't have a job. I felt like I wasn't where I was supposed to be in life. And I just remember being so low and nothing could help me. Everyone around me noticed that I was disconnected and just not feeling good. And I remember when I first started learning about Islam, that's the first time I felt like a release. Like the problem was still there, but I almost took the problem and I like pushed it onto Allah, which is exactly what we're supposed to do. Because I felt that I didn't need to be the one to pull myself out. And in thinking that and in doing that, that's when I started to feel so much better. Yeah. Because I think the issue that humans have is that we associate ourselves with the problem. Like if we're not where we're supposed to be in life, or if we don't have something, then we think our lives are at that place. Like we are the problem. I'm just a sad person. I'm just an anxious person. But it's like you need to separate the problem. The problem is making you anxious. You're not the anxious person.
Facts.
Right? But Allah is the one that's gonna make that anxious problem feel a lot better. And then you just feel
See, that's
better.
it's also a form of a test, eh?
Yes.
A test or a trial can come in so many different aspects. One is you losing something, one is you gaining something, but there's also tests where Allah tests how much you actually rely upon Him. So it's just like there's going to be tests that you can do your due diligence, you can try as many things as you want to solve it, but there is no outcome. The outcome is for you to trust in Allah. And that trust comes with so much effort and time and energy. Because think about it. If you are truly in a state of sadness, of losing a loved one, that you have to rely on Allah to help mend your heart because no one else can. No one else can understand. Even if someone has lost someone themselves, your relationship with the person you've lost, your experiences with the person you've lost is completely different. So it's never an apples to apple comparison. So one person can't give you a solution on how to overcome that type of sadness. But who can?
Allah.
Allah, because Allah is literally the turner of hearts. He's a changer of hearts. He can make your heart feel any way that He desires. But you need to be able to surrender your heart to Him. You know? And I feel like reliance goes hand in hand with tawakkul.
What's that?
Tawakkul means trust. Trust in Allah. So it's just like you relying on Allah and you trusting in Allah come hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because you only rely on something that you trust. You know?
Oh, that's so true. Ooh, that's a bar. That's a bar. Yeah, honestly, it's all about trust. It's all about trust.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's just like there's an example that I've heard many times now, and it's like it's always such a good example to even tell people who are just trying to understand this concept of what trust really means. It's like the example is, say you're a kid and your mom picks you up from school and she decides to take a different route back home. Are you going to be sitting in the car panicking, being like, hey, this isn't the way you take me home normally? Bro, it's your mom. You're gonna be happy and at peace and at comfort regardless of what direction she takes you, because you know your mom's duty is to protect you, to love you, to take care of you.
And she knows what she's doing.
What she's doing. Same thing goes with Allah. If Allah doesn't make your life go in a straight line and decides to take you around, what are you to be nervous about? Allah, at the end of the day, above everything, loves you, and He does not want any harm to be inflicted upon you. So trust in the ride. Just trust it, you know?
But you know what helps that too? It's the fact that you've seen your mom do it so many times. Like you've seen your mom succeed in getting you home safely. that's what we're supposed to do also when we look back at the stories of the prophets.
Yes.
And we see how Allah has gotten the prophets over their trials, over their obstacles. We're supposed to look at the hardest trials that any human has ever been inflicted with and see that even that Allah was able to help them persevere. So then when we look back at our own problems that seem so minuscule
Yep.
in
It's a
comparison,
mini detour.
many,
Yeah.
which is so beautiful.
Yeah,
And
man.
one of my favorite examples of that is just Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. His journey to getting Islam to spread was so difficult. Like the amount he was persecuted, the amount that he was banished from society, the amount of torture, physical, mental, and spiritual, that he had to go through. But he rose above it and he was able to deliver the message to everyone that he could.
Yeah.
And that's why Islam spread so much.
Yeah.
So when we look at that situation and the fact that he had to go through like the hardest moments,
Hardest rejections.
but then Allah still knew the plan. Allah said, trust in me and you will get through.
Because think about it, bro. Someone who goes through so much failure, their first instinct is, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to give up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you keep doing your due diligence, and Allah will make a way out for it. Allah doesn't make a way out for you until you do. There's two steps. There's two steps to having success and finding that Allah is there with you. Step one, of course you trust in Allah, but step one is doing your part. Doesn't matter how difficult it is, doesn't matter how many times you fail, doesn't matter how uncomfortable you are. If you want something, the first thing is you try. And then number two is you put your trust in Allah after you've tried. You can't just sit there and say, I trust Allah with my affairs, and then Allah's gonna change it. No. The Prophet, peace be upon him, kept trying with his body. He kept trying with his mind. He kept trying with his efforts, regardless of what was going to happen. And what did he see? Failure and failure and failure.
Yeah.
But he kept trying.
He kept
Allah
trying.
saw his intentions. Allah saw that he is trying. There's a reason why he's a prophet. Because Allah knew that he was going to try. But no other human being would try as much. So he is a prophet for a reason.
So does that go back to what you say that no soul is going to be burdened beyond its capacity?
Imagine his soul.
Yeah.
Imagine how strong our prophet's soul was, that he could bear every sort of pain in this world that we can't bear. And I think about this so many, like often, bro. It's like, think about how much pain each of us face individually. You might face financial problems. I might face loss of family members. Someone else might face loss of children. Our prophet faced a
All of
combination of all of that just to be an example for us. Meaning, person A can relate, person B can relate, person C can relate. Everyone can relate because the prophet went through the worst.
Yeah.
A prophet wouldn't have been a prophet if he couldn't be an example for mankind. And our prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, there's a reason why you have to respect him, because based on all the hardships that he went through, he catered to all of mankind.
Yeah.
You lost a child? Oh yeah, listen to the story of the prophet. He lost 5, for example. Oh, you lost your spouse? Look at the prophet. He lost his spouse, the one that he loved so much. Oh, loss of wealth? Yeah, check out the prophet. He lost everything. Oh, you don't have parents? Check out the prophet. Orphan. Oh, you lost your only uncle that you ever had in your life? Check out the prophet. He lost his uncle. Think about it, bro.
Yeah.
Prophet experienced every sort of calamity that could befall him.
Yeah.
And people get inflicted with one calamity and they say, why does Allah dislike me so much? The Prophet, peace be upon him, is Allah's greatest creation, most beloved creation. And Allah inflicted him with every single hardship known. So what does that say?
Yeah. That's why prophets are an example for mankind in like the best of ways. They exemplify the best positive attributes, but they also overcome the most negative attributes.
Yeah.
Literally, they describe that year as a year of sorrow because
When he passed away?
No, not when he passed away. When Khadijah passed away, when his uncle passed away. Because they describe that Khadija brought him inner protection, because anytime he was going through something, he was able to go back home and Khadija would console him. But the uncle was the physical and the outer protection, because without that uncle, I don't remember his name.
I think it's Abu Talib.
Without that protection, he would not have been able to spread Islam. He really wouldn't, because the uncle was the only thing protecting him from everyone else. Because all the higher ranking people in that society, they were not for it. Like, they were opposed.
Yeah.
They were opposed to Islam.
Yeah.
But the uncle had such a high ranking that whatever he said went. So the fact that both of those two things were lost, inner protection and outer protection, like that's tough, man.
There's a sheikh that I listen to. His name is Bilal Assad, and he lost his child, his son, and his brother in a snowmobile accident in front of his eyes.
Oh, he saw it?
He saw his son and his brother die. And when he was burying his child, he was so sad, but he remembered that there's one thing that he could talk to the Prophet about that they have in common, that they both lost their child, and both of their childs were named the same name too.
Yeah.
So he said that I have the exact same experience that I can share with the Prophet. So think about that, bro. And that strengthened his faith.
Exactly.
People who lose their children, people who go through such hectic experiences can either, it's such a pivotal time because some people can just drift because of resentment. Why did this happen to me? This. And they completely forget about Allah loved your child more than you love your child. And Allah loves you more than your child loves you. There's no love that goes beyond Allah's love.
Yeah.
If Allah did something, don't you think it's for a good cause?
Yeah.
Why would something, just like the mother example, why would something that loves you that much purposely inflict harm on you? There's a greater cause.
Yeah.
Like, there's a greater reason. But people, even me, will forget that while we're in it, in the midst of the situation. That's why it's like when you practice relying on Allah, even during the small things, the big things, it becomes so...
it's a muscle that grows.
Yeah, it's just a muscle that grows where when something devastating happens, your first trigger to finding peace and relief, you'll remember, is that reliance. Is that tawakkul. Like, let me go back to that. And it's tough, bro, but it's such a ikhlas, sincerity, tawakkul, and yaqeen, certainty. These concepts of Islam is just like, they don't just come overnight. They come based on how you contemplate your past situations. You go through your hard experiences, you gain an aspect of yaqeen, you gain an aspect of tawakkul. But you have to keep reminding yourself of those concepts every time something new happens. You can't just throw it away.
You know what that just made me realize? That it's like, there's steps, there's layers. The first one is knowledge. The more knowledge you have of Allah, the more love you're gonna have for Allah. The more love you have for Allah, the more trust you're gonna have in Allah. And then the more trust you have in Allah, the more reliance you have in Allah.
Yes, sir.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. So it always comes back to just learn more about Islam.
Yeah.
Learn more about the Quran. Learn more about Islam.
You can't trust someone you don't know. You know? You could be the most trustworthy person ever, but if I don't know you, it'd be foolish of me to just trust you. So it's just like, we have our resources to learn about Allah. For example, you and I, there's impossible for us to just meet each other and trust each other with everything. But now it's just like, come on. Like, what can I hide from you that I don't trust you with?
It's like the more I knew about you, the more I'm just like, okay, I can trust this person. The more I started trusting you with certain things, the more I started to appreciate you and love you.
But it's not always hand in hand. For example, like, you could trust someone, but you might not rely on them because they're unreliable. But
exactly, you have to pass each test.
Exactly, but Allah has clearly shown us all of this, not just in the lives of the Prophet or Islamic history. He showed us this within our own lives.
Yes.
Like, you trust Allah and He gets you past it. Then you trust Allah again, He gets you past it. Then you're just like, I do trust in Allah. Then the reliance aspect comes. After the reliance aspect comes, the love comes.
Yeah. One example that I love so much is the fact that his reliance can be so specific too. One of my favorite stories is the story of Musa, peace be upon him, and the fact that Musa had a speech impediment, and the fact that Musa was given such a task that in his head is like the furthest thing that he's capable of doing. He had to literally go to the most powerful person in that society, the Pharaoh, tyrant, and he had to go to his place, his kingdom, and basically tell him that what you're doing is wrong, that what you're worshiping is wrong, that the right way is with Allah. He had a speech impediment.
Yeah, stuttering.
Stuttering. And he was so scared to do it.
You know what he said though?
What?
He asked Allah, make my words easy to understand.
Yes.
Clear my speech for me.
Yes. Ola Ragbi Ishra Li Sodari. Wa Yasser Li Amri. Waklul Agudatan Min Lisani. Yafkahu Kauli. Beautiful. As soon as he said it, he felt, okay, I got it. He still wasn't, he knew that he still had a speech impediment. He knew that he was still scared and he was still worried. But he said, okay, I trust you. And that's what it's all about. Like, you don't have to trust yourself, but trust Allah.
But you know what's crazy about this? He had to take that action, right? Before Allah gave him the result. Musa, alayhi salam, when he took his people and he was crossing the river, running away from the Pharaoh, why did Allah say, strike your staff to open the sea?
Because you still have to do something.
Yeah, Allah could have just opened the sea for him. If Allah's opening the sea, you don't need to do nothing. But Allah told him, strike your staff, and then it'll open. The concept is so beautiful because the thing is,
He empowers you.
Yeah, do something first.
Yes.
Do your due diligence, and then I'll help you with everything else.
Even before that.
The magicians.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. No, but what I was going to say with the parting of the sea is like what you're trying to say is that the sea wasn't parted yet. He still had to go on the boat. Yeah. Not even before you do the staff. He didn't even know that he was going to be instructed to hit the staff and part the sea. The sea looked wild, right? Yeah. So it was already a scary looking situation. Yeah. But he still got on the boat and brought the people on. So, yeah, you have to have action. You have to do it. Yeah. You have to do it. But, yeah, I love these kind of stories, man. Yeah, it just goes back to don't trust yourself. Like, you don't have to.
Yeah, to a certain degree, right? Like, you have to trust yourself that you trust Allah enough.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But it stems from Allah.
Yeah, like, every single human being, there's a sense of humbleness that you should get because you're not capable. Yes. Realistically. Yes. Like, there's so much people out there that just because you invent something or you create something, it's like you take the credit for it. But the thing is, without a brain, you were not capable. Without everything working properly in your body, you weren't capable. Like, you're weak.
And this is all internal. Yeah. Imagine all the uncertainty externally.
Yeah, like you're weak. Mankind was created weak. Yes. Literally a quote from the Quran. Yes. Mankind is created weak. Yeah. We get damaged, we get hurt, we die. Like what % of people live past 100? Yeah. You know, it's just like there's no proudness that we can hold. Yes. Because we literally come from an excretion of sperm. You know what I mean? Like we literally come from a bodily fluid. We have nothing to be proud about. Exactly. You know? Exactly. The only thing that you can do in this world is walk humbly. Because Allah even says that Allah even tells us walk humbly across this world because anything is more mightier and powerful than you. Look at the mountains. Like, what are we to mountains? When we went on our trip to Spain or something, we see these big, gigantic.
And how did it make us feel?
Bro, insignificant. Insignificant. Like, you can't push even that mountain up. And that's, you can't move it, bro. Like, you're not taller than it. You're not bigger than it. You're not older than it. Like, you're nothing compared to the mountain. The only thing that you have is a mind. Yeah. But that mind isn't anything physical. So if it's not anything physical, then walk humbly on the earth because the earth can swallow you.
That's actually crazy, man. Yeah. It's true. So literally trials are designed to remind you that we should be humble because we're nothing, right? But then also beautiful things as well, like seeing the mountain. Yeah. Like there's so many signs that Allah gives us to remind us that he is the all-powerful, the all-knowing, the most merciful.
I got, I want to go through this one time. I got a comment on, I think that was on Instagram or TikTok, regardless. Some guy literally wrote the same question again. It's just like, bro, I can't bring myself to make sense. Why would this God need so much praise from mankind? Like, how sad is that?
I saw this.
You saw that one too? Was that on Instagram?
I think it was on TikTok.
Bro, when I read comments like that, I just want to tell, like, I just think to myself, it's just like, who are you to, like, he's not saying any of that because he needs your praise.
It's not
like,
an opinion.
Like, you keep like, that person clearly thinks that his praise is going to elevate Allah a little bit. Like, his praise, like, he's so high up that Allah cares about his praise. That, like, look, even if you think you don't have an ego, you're trying to cut out Allah's ego. It shows that you have an ego. Because he's literally saying that my praise, I'm just a regular human being, not even a prophet. My praise is going to make Allah even higher.
Why should Allah even want it? Why should Allah need it?
Like, you could tell easily by just that wording, the humbleness, but arrogance is there in that person. Because anyone who would say that to someone else is that I don't want to praise this person. I don't want to say, good job. You have an ego. Simple as that, you know?
I think it also comes down to, that's just a lack of gratitude and a lack of awareness of your blessings, right? Because if you truly understood how much Allah blesses us with the mere fact that we can walk and talk and see and feel and touch and everything around us, the shelter that you have, the phone that he sent that message on, there's an infinite amount of blessings that even got him to the point of having that thought. If he truly appreciated all of those aspects,
he would have understood it.
He would have understood it. He would have, it wouldn't even be a matter of like, why should I be doing that? He should just want to.
That's what I don't get, man.
That's what I don't get
It's just like when someone is self-made in this world, I don't know how they forget that, like, they only look at the portion when they were grinding. Like, it
goes back to what you said, the maze. If you have something right in front of you and you get to that point, you're going to think that it's just you that got it. I grinded it. I saw it and I'm grinding to it. But that's why you mentioned that you take those detours, or Allah forces you into those detours.
Exactly, when he loves you, because he doesn't want you to forget that.
He doesn't want you to forget.
So, bro, it's just like when you start grinding and then you get your results and they're successful, you completely forget about the past. But you never go to the source of it. Like, you never go to the very start. No one ever does. Like, so many people don't do that, where you go to the very start and be like, hold on, I grinded, I got my money, but let's go back a little bit. I avoided that car accident. I got saved from that illness. My parents gave birth to a successful person, a healthy baby.
So I had the means to do it.
I didn't need to have hands. My brother is disabled. My friend, I know someone who's handicapped. There's so many actual instances around me where people are more unfortunate. So hold on. I may have gone to this part.
But who gave you the tools to do it?
Exactly. People, when you forget about that, it's a wrap.
Yeah, lack of gratitude.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. And literally, that's what Shaitan did. Like, actually, I don't even want to go into this, but it's his lack of gratitude for everything that Allah created, that's what he forgot about that. So when it came to the point where Adam was created, he was incapable of realizing how much he still was blessed. But it's like, why is this person being blessed more? Why is this person being elevated more? But like, it all comes down to just realizing that Allah has given you so much. It doesn't matter what the next person has. It doesn't matter what your neighbors have. You still have an abundance. Even if he takes half of everything that we have, we still have an abundance.
The fact that you're in the presence of Allah, it's just like, does it get any better than that?
Yeah.
And it's just like, at that point, you were still greedy for more. Meaning that you, see, there's that two types of jealousy that's haram, right? The first type of jealousy that's haram is when someone got blessed by Allah. It's not that you want that, you just don't want them to have it. That's the type of jealousy that's forbidden, that's haram. But the type of jealousy that is allowed in Islam, you see someone doing well, say for example, this person recites the Quran beautifully, but you're tone deaf. You look at it, you're just like, wow, I need to get there, but you keep doing what you're doing. That's beautiful. Keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know a perfect example of that? The night journey. when Prophet Muhammad went to the seven heavens, when he went to the sixth heaven, or I believe it was the fifth or the sixth, when he met Musa, peace be upon him, Musa cried.
Why?
Because Musa said, I don't have, my iman is not going to be as big as yours. The fact that you're going to the next level to meet Abraham, you're at a higher level. He was jealous, but he was jealous that Prophet Muhammad was at that level higher, right?
Like
but
he didn't want to take it away from him.
He didn't want to take it away from him.
He just wanted it for himself too.
Yes.
So that's the two types of jealousy, bro. And it's just like with Shaitan, his jealousy was just, I don't want him to be greater than me.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter about me. Don't put me up top. Just don't give him that ranking. You know what I mean?
That's so dangerous, man.
Yeah.
So dangerous. But yeah, man, just to conclude here, Reliance. I love that you said that you need to have the trust, but then you have to reverse engineer that. What do you need to get that trust? You just need to know Allah. You need to know all the things that he did for other people, but then just reflect on all the things that he did for you, right?
Yeah.
And that will get you to the point of just knowing more about him.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like, if you're here right now, today,
Yes.
you already know that Allah has gotten you through so much of your life. You know, if you're literally watching this video right now, you have the ability to see, you have the ability to rationalize, you have the ability to feel. Think about your past. Allah has literally gotten you through every hardship until this point right now.
The ones that we know of and the ones we don't know of.
Exactly. So if you are in a phase right now that you're going through a crazy hardship, just use your past as a transcript.
He got you through it.
Got through it. I'm here now.
Yeah.
I'm facing this right now, but look at my past. I got through it. It's consistent.
Yes.
It's consistent.
So why would Allah stop now?
Yeah.
Why would Allah stop now?
Exactly.
But yeah, I love
reliance needs to be a topic much deeper, because every single prophet, commonality, reliance.
Yeah.
Commonality, tawakkul, trust. Commonality, yaqeen, certainty.
Yes.
Like certainty is a big one in terms of trusting Allah, because trust, all of that thing, it's like you're certain your mom's gonna take you home. You're certain, even if your mom's taking a detour, she will take you home. There's no one in this world that can convince you that your mom is not taking you home.
Yeah.
Like, there's no convincing. That is the certainty, the level of yaqeen you have. And there's the Ali Hamuda, there's tiers of yaqeen. There's yaqeen that you can see. There's yaqeen that you can actually physically touch. And there's yaqeen that you're not unsure about, but you know it's 100 based on facts.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's just like, like, I'm telling you, yaqeen, tawakkul, reliance, ikhlas, literally individual videos you could make on it. And you could tie in stories from every single prophet.
Of those three, what do you think is the route to get to the higher level for each of them? What do you think?
I'm not too sure on that one, because people find Islam through various paths, right? And it's just like, I feel like someone who's well-versed and seasoned will start picking up certain things and understanding these concepts, but you can enter through any of those avenues, right? Like, for example, yaqeen. There's levels of certainty, right? Say, for example, I'm not a Muslim. I just opened the Quran, and the first word that says is Allah guides who He chooses wills to guide. That could be a sense of, I'm certain that Allah has just gave me a sign. So that's my level of yaqeen. It might not be the highest level of yaqeen, like
but
a
that's
physical
where you
one,
started.
but that's where I'm starting. Another person like you went through the reliance, or went through, I think you said reliance in the beginning.
Yes.
So you went through reliance, right? I think Islam is so open.
Yes.
Where you can enter through so many realms, bro. Because another sense of certainty, of yaqeen, is, for example, you just picking up the Quran and you're literally analyzing the facts. This is 100% accurate. There's not one, what's the word called? Not one error or
flaw, discrepancy
in the Quran. Not one. You know, like, you can't find it. There are things in the Quran that are undefined right now because time hasn't gone on.
We haven't caught up to it.
As time goes on, the Quran becomes more and more factual. You know, we only find out years and years later. So it's like you can't debunk anything in the Quran, and the things that you tried to debunk has failed. So it's just like some people come through that realm of facts. Like, let me see what makes sense. How has this book been preserved? This is miraculous. The seas, the baby being in the womb, the bees, like
The mountains
the
and the
mountains,
pillars.
exactly, the pillars, like all of that stuff.
But it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
It's really different
So
for everyone.
I think a foundation for every person is the first step is seeking knowledge.
Seeking knowledge.
So important, bro. Like, you can't learn anything without seeking knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, the Quran is very analogical, like analogy based,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's just like, just when you read the Quran, like, there's so much analogies, but you have to relate it to your life here. It's just like, did I learn how to become a doctor without doing my research? Did I learn how to drive a car without learning what a car is, how a car goes, park? What does P mean? What does D mean? What does R mean? Did I learn how to play my games without learning, like without watching videos and trying it out? So it's just like with the Quran, you're not going to learn certain, like, you have to apply the same rules to both. If you're applying rules within your real life and you're fine with doing that, apply it to the Quran.
That's so true. And then take what you learned and apply it to yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
This is good.
This was a good one. Quick and dirty.
Yeah, quick and
Not
dirty.
dirty, but
You're
all right, guys.
appreciate you.
Assalamu alaikum.